It is so difficult to put into words how disappointing, how disgusting this Eagles team has been. And really, there's not much to say. It's hard to put into words, but the only question that should be out there right now is it time to clean the entire house? What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into A to Z Philly. No formal intro, okay? Hit the like button and subscribe. We have to jump into this because I took the day off yesterday. Happy New Year to everybody. And I asked myself continuously, am I being reasonable enough? Am I being too much over the cliff, over the ledge? And I just kept coming back to the same thought, man. There has not been anything more disappointing than this in Philly sports in some time. I mean, there's been some really big heartbreakers. There's been some crucial things, but to go from 10-1 and to crumple the way we're seeing, and it has now hit a different level of bad. It's not even that they're not playing well. It's the no dog, the no fight, the quit. And I just want to go down the line. I don't even know what the structure of this is today, other than we're going to talk about who needs to be fired. And I'm going to go down the line and just try to rant and just try to vent a little more because I'm still uneasy. I still don't feel right. I feel like there's so much more to say, but at the same time, what can you say? So we will get into it all. My question for the people out there is, who deserves the most blame? Like, give me a hierarchy, or just give me the top guy or positional group, or, you know, top level coaching, talent, ownership. Who deserves the most blame for this atrocity we are witnessing of the Philadelphia Eagles? And we will jump into all of it. But before we do, let me give a shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with the code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Eagles were a 12-point favorite this past week. Yeah, they were a 12-point favorite at home, and they let Jonathan Gannon come into their house and take over and say, you know what, screw you guys. I was right. You should have never let me go, and I was acting the way I was, and you know, now it's deserved, you know? Like, how do you let Jonathan Gannon come into your house and do that? I'm still disgusted, man. From that last drive, from the weak play calling to the letting them come all the way down the field and score, to the Hail Mary where nobody even tried for the ball. I'm disgusted in a plethora of ways, but it goes back to the heart of the issues. Now, I do want to say one quick thing here before we jump into all of it. Nick Sirianni talked today about potentially sitting the starters, right? If Dallas wins and the Eagles game is pushed to 420, and if the Cowboys win, obviously they win the division. The curse stands. It is a real curse, ladies and gentlemen. Nick says we're going to do everything we can to win the game. We can't control the result, but we have to get out of the rut we're in. We're considering everything. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. All options are on the table. We're going to consider everything. Do you think the Eagles should even play their guys at this point? Matter of fact, I would not play them. I would not play them, not the rest, but to just show them how embarrassing they are. And I, you know, maybe I was a little over the top a couple days ago in the post game, but I felt everything I said. And I just have not seen something just so sad at this point than this Eagles team, you know, when it comes to the last 5, 10, 15 years. It's really heartbreaking, man. Even 2020, because, you know, the Eagles obviously had won a Super Bowl a couple years later. A much different situation, but that feeling of just gutless, that's what I feel with this team, right? And you ended up blowing up everything, and obviously it was different because Doug Peterson was trying to repair damaged goods, right? Carson Wentz was mad that Nick Foles got all the shine, that he didn't get to finish the job, and then the injuries allowed him to never recover and become the same player. So you were kind of leading yourself into the ground, but when it comes to this Eagles team, what I'm most frustrated with is that it's almost the same team as last year. Obviously, they have some holes, but like, this team, to me, has the talent to be elite. And this team it's not like Jalen Hurts is regressing into a Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts is supposed to be a Super Bowl level quarterback, an MVP, a guy you paid him to be, and he just doesn't have the opportunity to do that. And it's just, you're seeing everything boil over. It's really, really disgusting. I think the main takeaway from Sunday is that they quit. I have no problem if the team's not talented enough, if maybe one or two players regress and, you just can't get over the top. You can't get it done, right? You competed, you battled, but the cards fall where they may. My issue is that they quit. They literally quit in this game. They did not try. That means they don't believe in the philosophy. That means the voice may be lost. So should they fire everybody? We will get to it. I'm just ranting right now. I want to talk about A.J. Brown because the media, right, especially the local media, Philly Inquirer, is trying to paint A.J. as the villain for weeks now. Oh, he's not talking to the media. Earlier in the season, right, he was arguing with Jalen and things like that. A.J. Brown is the farthest thing from the issue. And after the game, once again, he says, quote, "There's nothing to say." And you know what that face is right there? I know the feeling 100%. You ever been so disgusted at something, you just start laughing? You're just so sick that the laughs come out, the evil laughs. You don't know what to say. Your face is a blank canvas. You don't know. No expression, no emotion. Matter of fact, I did it on the postgame show a couple days ago. That's how I felt. I was laughing because it was so stupid that they lost this game. And AJ's thinking on 3rd and 20, you throw a screenplay that hurts Devontae Smith. I'm one of the best receivers in the league. AJ Brown is the farthest thing from the issue. So the fact that people are trying to paint him out as a bad guy is ridiculous. Shame on them. This is already one of the best Eagle receivers in history. First 2 seasons, breaks his record twice. Over 1,000 yards. This guy is an elite talent, and it's sad that they're trying to paint him out to be this way. Shout out to Jacob Sports. Eagles are having trouble getting AJ the ball. Hasn't scored a touchdown in 5 games, the longest of his career. This guy was, leading the league in almost every category behind Tyreek, and now it's like he's not even involved in the offense, okay? And I'm pissed off that people are trying to blame AJ Brown for something that's not his fault. Now, let's go down the list of morons, okay? Brian Johnson is the ultimate moron. He's one of the worst coordinators I've ever seen. He is stubborn. And my biggest issue with Brian Johnson is that he sat under the wing of Shane Steichen for 2 years, and he didn't learn a damn thing. You watched Shane Steichen proceed to take this team to a Super Bowl, to build a Super Bowl caliber offense, and you learned nothing. How? How is it that I'm watching a game and I feel like they have 5 plays in the playbook? Verticals, screen, bubble screen, quarterback keeper, and a tush push. How is that the only damn plays in the playbook? When you have all these weapons, you saw how creative this team was last year. All they did was scheme guys wide open. We talked about it all season long. I kept asking, why is Brian Johnson running quarterback keepers on 2nd and 8? It makes no sense. Why are they running screens on 3rd and 14? It makes no sense. How do you not just go back and watch a damn game from last year? I can't take it. I can't take it. It's driving me up a wall. Brian Johnson today asked if there was consideration to be more aggressive on the second to last drive, where they go with a Jalen Hurts run, I think it was an RPO, and then a screen on 3rd and 20, which gets Devontae Smith injured. By the way, good news. It seems to be not too serious, but he is in a walking boot, and he might not play this week, so who knows, right? He's trying to get that contract. But he got Devontae Smith hurt on that play with an idiotic call. And he says, on whether they were considering to be more aggressive or not, I don't know if I could answer that question for you. But for us offensively, what we were trying to accomplish, that was the mode we were in. Double talk up the wazoo. What does that even mean? First off, how are you an offensive coordinator of a team and you can't answer whether you were trying to be aggressive on the second to last drive? Matter of fact, I was listening to the radio today and somebody actually coined it perfectly for me, the phrase. They said, every game the Eagles play not to lose rather than to win. That's what they do. They're not aggressive. They don't try. They don't scheme anything up. They're just surviving. And that's what they did for week after week after week. And we all thought it was great that they were winning games and nobody got criticism. And now they've lost 4 of their last 5. You were 10-1 up multiple games. Literally, all you had to do was breeze into the playoffs. And you look like you have no substance at all. Brian Johnson is a moron. I don't know if everybody should get fired, maybe eventually, which we'll talk about, but Brian Johnson should go tomorrow. He should go today. If you want any chance, you need to call up Frank Reich and said, Frank, I know you're at home enjoying life with the wife and you're getting paid. But Frank, we need you to come in here and do what you did in 2018 and to scheme an offense around the quarterback like you did with Nick Foles, and we'll pay you and we need you to come back and help because Brian Johnson will not do it. Brian Johnson on the 3rd and 20 screen, the one that got Devontae hurt. Quote, with the way the wind was on that side, we had to get to the kicking line. You obviously have multiple options. If you get a pressure look, that's what we're going to do, a screen. If you don't, the play would have been something else. That's BS. That's BS. You had no creativity. Once again, you did nothing at all, which is what you do every single week. And somehow the Eagles were up in this game in the first half. They're up by 15 on the gutless Arizona Cardinals, right? At least I thought they were, right? They stink. They're literally trying to tank the game. Matter of fact, Jonathan Gannon kicks an onside because they're tanking. They're trying to lose. They give you the ball right near the 50. And the Arizona Cardinals come out and, I mean, they just outsmart you. They outplay you. They out-hustle you. And you see the Eagles players, even AJ coming off on that last drive, shaking his head. They don't believe in what this team is doing anymore. They've been doing it all season. It makes absolutely no sense. And Brian Johnson's out here talking his way around it like always. They always do that. Oh, we'll fix it. We'll find a way to get better. No, you don't. No, you don't. Brian Johnson on getting AJ, Devontae, and Dallas more involved in high leverage situations. All these guys are more than capable. We talk about the play doesn't care who makes it. We've got a lot of guys who made plays this year and in their careers. We have a lot of faith and confidence and trust in all 11 guys. But you do nothing to give them confidence, to get them in rhythm, to get them open. I've been saying it every damn week. What do you do on offense? You even have a 1,000-yard rusher in DeAndre Swift, and it feels like he's not even involved in the offense. AJ, Devontae, they could each have 2,000 yards. DeAndre Swift could have 1,500 yards. They don't get the right amount of touches. Arizona was outscoring you, in every category, right? Time of possession, they had 20 more minutes. They had 450 yards of offense. They had 220 rushing yards on you. You're supposed to be the playoff team, and you do nothing to match that, man. And that brings me to my next moron, Matt Patricia. And I'm sorry, this is a long rant, and, I'm just speaking from the heart, man. I'm frustrated. The Philadelphia Eagles over the last 7 games have given up 15 passing touchdowns. No team has given up more in the NFL. Eagles are the worst defense in the NFL. They're giving up 150 rushing yards a game. 3rd worst in the NFL over the last 7 weeks. This defense cannot be fixed. And usually when a new coach or coordinator comes into a situation, there's always that initial jolt of energy of life. And the last example I can think of is the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, right? They fire their coach. They bring in Pierce. And you see how they play? Like they want to prove that point. When it comes to the Eagles, they got worse. They went full panic mode. They got rid of Sean Desai as the coordinator. They bring in Patricia. They got worse. And I can't blame Patricia too much because the talent is not there, right? Guys are banged up. You're bringing in dudes that are getting their ankles broken. But the reason Patricia's a moron is because you do nothing to shake it up, right? The Eagles still don't blitz. They still don't get anybody in prime matchups. Like, it just doesn't make sense it feels like they're just throwing things against the wall and seeing what works, and they don't change it up. Eagles have been rushing 4 all year. Jalen Carter is still probably going to win Rookie of the Year, and I feel like I haven't seen him in 10 weeks. I don't understand. And the Eagles have good veteran leaders on this team. They have Kelsey and BG and Fletch, who all might even have played their last game at the Link in that slop show against the Cardinals. And you're telling me, with all those voices, with all those leaders, nobody can muscle up any energy. Guys are giving up on tackles. They're letting guys go right through the coverages. They have given up. And again, this is why I think some people need to be fired now. Because again, it's not even just about losing the games. It's the fact that you've given up on what is being preached. And that brings me to the last moron, Nick Sirianni. Yes, he's a moron right now. He was asked about his job security today. He said he doesn't think about it, and he just focuses on the team and trying to get them to play better. Fine. That's a politically correct answer. But Nick Sirianni, the reason you're a moron is because you have hired moron coordinators, all right? And you had 2 gold gems, gold mines apparently last year in John Gannon and Shane Steichen. You let them walk fine, but you replaced them with morons. And you don't do anything except sit up there and preach about everything being pretty and we're going to win and we're going to get this fixed. When in reality, you need to go in there and start punching a wall. You need to run through a damn wall and get these guys fired up because they don't believe in anything that is being preached. And the body language, things that are being said, Jalen Hurts a couple weeks ago saying, we're not committed. He slipped up and said it. All things point to the fact that this team is fundamentally broken. All right, we could talk about Howie not addressing certain positions, but the talent that this team has, they should be able to get more out of what they are getting currently. And I can't take it, man. I don't see this team even beating Tampa on the road in the playoffs. I don't think they can beat anybody. I don't think they're going to beat the Giants this week. That's how down I am, and I don't want to talk like this. I wish I was wrong, man. They called me negative for saying I wasn't happy with the Christmas win against the Giants, where they blew a 17-point lead. It is embarrassing. This organization, it reminds me a lot of 2020, but it's even worse because you have the talent that can get you deep into the playoffs, and it feels like everybody's trying to paint out the wrong picture and blame the wrong guy, when in reality, everybody should be embarrassed. And that's really all I got. That's how I feel right now. If Nick Sirianni continues to coach like this, and if the Eagles go all the way downhill and fall off the cliff, and they go into the playoffs, say they get embarrassed by Tampa, yeah, I think Sirianni should be fired. As good of a job as he's done, and this can't happen. This can't happen. You can't go from one extreme and fall all the way down to the ground this year. You just can't do it. And I'm just disgusted. But if I had to make one immediate change, I would fire Brian Johnson, and I would somehow get Frank Reich in here before the playoffs to try to recreate that magic from 2017 and 2018. Those are my thoughts. I hope the Eagles can find a way to get it together. I really, really do. But I just don't see any hope right now. I don't see any hope. And it's unfortunate that in the year that you were supposed to kind of cash everything in and go for one more triumphant run, this is how you're going out. It's bad, man. It is really bad. Give me your thoughts down below. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.